Hello students, in this particular video lecture we will be covering the timestamp based protocol. So what is a timestamp? A timestamp is basically a unique identifier that is created by DBMS to identify a transaction. Timestamp values are assigned to the transactions in the order in which the transactions are entered into the system, and it is denoted by TST. So what can be the different schemes to implement this time stamping is, first is to assign a timestamp to a transaction. You can either use the system clock, the time of the system at which the transaction enters into the system can be made the timestamp of that transaction, or you can use a logical counter. Suppose we have 4 transactions, T1 enters the system first, then T2, then T3, then T4, then their timestamp values can be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So T1 will be the oldest transaction having the lowest timestamp value, and T4 will be the youngest transaction having the largest timestamp value. Apart from assigning the timestamp values to the transaction, we also assign the timestamp, 2 types of timestamp values to each data item in the system. First is the W timestamp and second is the R timestamp. W timestamp of data item Q means it is equal to the timestamp value of the largest transaction who has performed write operation successfully on data item Q. Let me give you an example. Suppose I am having 4 transactions, T1, T2, T3, T4, out of which suppose T2 and T4 performs the write operation on Q. Then the timestamp value of T2 is 2 and timestamp value of T4 is 4. So out of 2 and 4, 4 is largest. So 4 will be the W timestamp value of Q. Similarly, for R timestamp value, it is equal to the largest timestamp value of the transactions, those who have successfully executed the read operation on data item Q. Again, suppose T1 and T3 performs the read operation on data item Q. Timestamp value of T1 is 1, timestamp value of T3 is 3. So 3 being larger than T1, then our timestamp will be equal to 3. These timestamp values keeps on updating whenever we execute read queue and write queue operation. So this is the algorithm that how this protocol works. So let's start with this. Suppose we are having a transaction Ti that issues a read request on the data item Q. What we have to check is, if the timestamp value of Ti, the transaction who has requested read operation, if it is less than the W timestamp Q, then we have to abort or roll back Ti and we will reject the operation. Why so? Because a younger transaction who is after Ti in the timestamp ordering has written the value of Q before Ti has been given the chance to read. In short, suppose if a transaction who has entered into the system later on and it has performed the write operation first, after then an older transaction Ti is requesting a read operation on Q, then we have to reject the request of my older transaction. We have to abort this Ti, the older transaction. Otherwise, if the case is so that if TSTI is greater than the W timestamp of Q, then read operation is executed and write timestamp Q is set to maximum of write timestamp of Q and to TSTI. Now what it means is, suppose the read timestamp R timestamp QI value is currently 2, W timestamp Q value is suppose 1, right? And the transaction who has requested the read operation is T3. So the timestamp value of the transaction who has requested read operation is 3. So TSTI will become 3. Now this 3 is greater than W timestamp value Q, that was 2. It means the transaction who has requested the read operation on data item Q is more younger than the earlier transactions who has performed the write operation successfully on Q. So we will allow the younger transaction to perform the read operation, and the timestamp value of this transaction who has performed read, that is T4, so we will set this, or T3, then we will set this 3 value equal to the R timestamp value of Q, because now the latest transaction who has performed read on Q is T3, so R timestamp value will be T3 now. If the case is, one more thing that you might be having in your mind is that why we haven't checked for the R timestamp value, because the transaction has issued the read request. A read request never conflicts with another read request, so that is why we haven't checked for the R timestamp here. A write request is conflicting with the read request, that is why we have checked the W timestamp when the transaction has made the read request. Now if the transaction has made the write request, because write conflicts with both read and write, so we will check for both the W timestamp and R timestamp here. So again, if the transaction who has requested the write request on data item Q is having timestamp value smaller than the current W timestamp value of Q, it means the older transaction is requesting to perform a write operation after a younger transaction has already successfully performed the write operation on Q. So we will reject the TI, we will roll back or abort the TI. Similarly, for the TSTI, we will check for the R timestamp. Suppose a younger transaction has successfully performed the read operation on Q, and then the older transaction TI having smaller timestamp value is requesting a write operation, then we will roll back the TI. Otherwise, we will allow the TI to perform the write operation, and the timestamp value of Q, write timestamp value of Q will be set equal to TSTI if TI successfully performs write operation on Q. What it simply means, after going through all these cases, you can simply imply that even after the younger transaction has performed read or write operation on a data item Q, and after it, if an older transaction places request to read or write the data item Q, we will not allow the older transaction to perform read or write, and we will abort or roll back that transaction. So the timestamp based ordering protocol is free from deadlock. It allows the serializability, but the issue here comes is the starvation. Why starvation? Starvation is basically when, suppose starvation is something when you are continuously waiting for food but you are not able to get the food, so you will enter into the starvation stage. Similarly with the transactions, the older transaction is continuously requesting to perform read or write operation on Q, but because it has now become older and the younger transaction has performed write or read operation on Q, the older transaction will always be into the aborted state. It will never be allowed the older transaction to perform read or write. So the older transaction TI will enter into the starvation stage, because other new transactions, other younger transactions have been given priority over this older transaction. Now let's understand this timestamp ordering algorithm using an example. Suppose I am having 4 transactions in my system, that is T1, T2, T3, T4 with their respective timestamps, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? If suppose the W timestamp Q is currently 3, it means T3 is the transaction who has successfully is the transaction with the largest timestamp who has successfully performed the write operation on Q. Sorry, if suppose T2 now places the request of the read operation on Q, timestamp of T2 is 2, which is less than 3, so T2 being older will be aborted and will not be allowed to perform the read operation on Q. Otherwise, if suppose T4 has requested this, then T4 we would have allowed, because T4 is more younger than the transaction who has successfully performed write on data item Q. Now similarly, let's see the second part. If the transaction T2 has placed the write request Again, for the write request, we will compare the timestamp of Ti with the W timestamp of Q. That is 2 is less than 3. Again, your T2 will be aborted or roll back. If then we will compare with the R timestamp. Suppose R timestamp Q value is currently 4 and T2 has requested the read. T2 has requested the write operation. Now T2 being the older one will be aborted. Otherwise, if suppose another transaction T5 come into the picture and it has requested the write or read operation, then we would have allowed it. So the simple conclusion that we can draw from this algorithm is, whenever a younger transaction has performed some read or write operation on a transaction on a data item Q successfully, then after this, if the older transaction places a request, then that older transaction will not be allowed to perform any read or write operation, and it will be continuously rolled back or aborted, and so the older transaction will enter into the starvation stage. So we can say that although timestamp ordering protocol, where we have assigned timestamps to the transactions as well as timestamps to the data items, it is free from deadlock, it ensures serializability, but it suffers a problem of starvation. So in the next video lecture, we will be covering the validation based protocol, that is optimistic concurrency protocol. Thank you, class.